Christmas. I know I did.
I did too. It was great.
Beautiful, beautiful. Got ammo, a lot of American shit.
Yeah, America.
Can't go wrong with that.
Thank you to the 1,200 plus views that we got last week. Truly humbled. Appreciate it.
You guys are awesome. Love it.
Well, let's dive into it today.
Yeah.
I'm kind of amped up today. We talked back before about illegal immigrants in California. Came up previously. Well, they're back in the news. Their governor, Jerry Brown, he basically pardoned 2 felony immigrants days before they're supposed to be deported. Here's my problem. You have 2 illegal immigrants who have felony convictions
Right.
days before they're supposed to be sent home, and you just let them off the hook. Now, I understand people that come here to make their lives better. I'm all for it. But these are not people that just came here and said, hey, I want to make a difference in my family's lives.
Right.
They have felony convictions, one of them being felony gun conviction. So, California, one of the hardest states on guns and gun laws, you have a person here who broke your law. Now you're going to let him go again. Like, what's the deal?
Yeah, I don't understand how you pardon someone who breaks one of your biggest rules in your fucking state, and just lets them go. I mean, if you were pulled over for a speeding ticket and you were actually a decent citizen, like you said, nobody gives a fuck.
Right.
Stay here. But to pardon someone off a felony who was going to get deported and go back where they belong is total bullshit. And again, we continue to put the lives of illegal immigrants over
American citizens. People. And here's another thing too, what I don't understand is, and maybe the Department of Justice can take a look at this, but as a governor, you take an oath of office to uphold the Constitution and the laws of the United States, which clearly they're being deported for a reason. It wasn't, hey, I don't like you, you're being deported. They're being deported because they're convicted felons. Maybe the Department of Justice needs to take a look at that.
It's more of that sanctuary city bullshit that you see.
Oh, they're a sanctuary state.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of bullshit in states and cities, we had more statues taken down, a couple days ago, whatever. Shit's getting old, to be honest. Single-handedly, one by one, we're taking history and just getting rid of it.
And it doesn't necessarily matter whether you agree with the history or not. It's the history of the United States.
Right.
It's how we got to where we are today. It doesn't necessarily, it's not always beautiful. There's a very messy past. But I feel like if you take that messy past away, it doesn't give you the same respect that you have for the place that you live in today.
Well, shit, we have a messy present now. We're giving into all these fucking dudes who want to pee in the girls' bathroom and fucking girls who want to be in Boy Scouts. And, you've got this Black Lives Matter group running around blocking traffic and doing whatever the fuck they want. And correct me if I'm wrong, but not a single person alive today is, or will be a slave. We need to get the fuck over this whole slavery. I've never owned one. You've never owned one.
Never.
I don't understand,
It goes back to, we need to preserve our history. And again, it's not always, sunshine and rainbows. There's definitely a messy past. But to take these monuments down, and if I remember correctly, the monuments were actually burial sites.
Right, Nathan Bedford Forrest was buried underneath the statue.
So what do you do with the remains? And that's one of those things that, as a citizen of the United States, you're taking away our history.
Right.
So now what do? Erase history books and say, oh no, that never happened.
Right.
Look over here, sunshine, rainbows.
The Civil War was like one of the biggest parts of history, if I remember correctly, going to school.
Big time.
And the way they did it, the city council sells the 2 parks for dirt cheap, and go through this loophole to be able to fucking remove these statues. So now we have to go through loopholes to erase history. Nobody thinks it's wrong. I mean, what's next?
And that's one of those things where as obviously there are no Confederate statues here where we live in Illinois. But that's up to the town and those citizens in the town to take action. You
Not
know,
only
and
that,
I
I
mean,
really want to know, in order to remove a burial site, you need permission from the family.
that's correct.
How the fuck they got around that is beyond me.
And it's one of those things where we may never know.
Hey. Well, let's jump into some good news stories.
Yeah, I was just reading today. The U.S. Has confirmed that they've killed 13 terrorists in Somalia due to an airstrike. Keep up the good job, boys. I mean,
Killer Christmas present.
I mean
for
that
those
is
guys.
that is. I mean, yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. But and that's the thing. It's we have to be proactive with ISIS. We have to be proactive against terrorists on all fronts. It doesn't necessarily matter whether they're homegrown or in Somalia. We need to make sure that we take care of us.
Right. Right. And we going off of that, I was just reading some stories today. Good old 45. ISIS has lost 98% of their territory just this year since he's been.
That's huge. It kind of makes me wonder what the fuck was Obama doing.
8 years, 8 fucking years, we got nowhere, and in
This guy, 1 year, 98% gone, and again that other story with the 13 terrorists in Somalia. I mean, that's huge, and that's 45 is doing a hell of a job, and keep up the good work, 45.
That's what I love to see. You remember that when we had that one story, I forget what happened, but I think we had one of our guys killed or something. And it took like 3 hours, and they blew the piss out of that fucking place. Like, that's what needs to happen.
Right.
And that's what is happening.
That's because you have balls now.
Fucking
The military.
Merry Christmas, fucking good shit.
The military has some balls now. So, I mean, that's where you see that coming from. One other thing I just want to kind of touch on. A friend of mine works for a big corporation. And, I don't know if you saw the tax reform was signed into law, and immediately he received a $1,000 bonus. I mean, and I've looked at the research, I've looked at the good, the bad, the ugly, and it actually looks like this year I'm going to come out ahead. Came out ahead last year, same thing. So I mean, I'm not losing anything here. What people need to understand is in this specific instance is Trump cut the tax. Next thing you know, my buddy's getting a $1,000 bonus. Apple just announced they're going to be doing $1 billion test over in Barrington, Illinois, in Barrington High School. They're going to be giving, I believe it starts next year, they're giving out iPad or MacBook Pros to every student to do a study through their, but that has only been allowed because of the tax cuts that 45 has been made.
And everybody thinks that this whole thing is just to make rich people rich, and it's not. I've been seeing a large amount of people who voted against Trump actually saying that this is good and giving him the credit that he deserves. I mean, for AT&T to give 200,000 employees a $1,000 bonus,
That's a huge.
I mean, that might not seem a lot to some people. It's 1,000, but I mean, it's something. That's 200,000.
I mean, I'd truly take $1,000
exactly.
bonus.
Give this guy some fucking credit. He's doing a hell of a job. Who fucking, he golfs, whatever. Like, everybody does shit.
I mean, and that's the thing. It's like, you can, and that's what, it's funny when I look through the news and I see a story about a truck that is parked in a specific area to block the view of 45 golfing. Why is that even fucking news? Like, let's be realistic here. Why is that even in the fucking news? I mean, the guy likes to golf. I like to shoot guns.
Yeah.
You like to shoot guns. Everybody needs their time away from work. And being the president, you don't always get that time away from work.
Right. And who cares how many times he's fucking done it? He's done more in a year than we've seen over the last 12, 16 years of presidents. So who fucking cares? Let the man do his job and enjoy himself while he's doing it.
Right.
Fuck it.
I mean, and that's the thing. It's a lot of people, they don't like him.
No. Exactly
And
what it is.
They don't care about the hardcore facts, or they don't care that, hey, this new tax cut's going to be good for everybody. They look at, I don't like them, and this is why I don't like them, and they just stick with that one point, and they can't budge. And what they need to do is really take a step back, look at the facts, and then make an educated decision.
I agree 100%. That pretty much sums it up. You know, it's kind of a short episode. We're trying to keep it down for you guys. I know it's not always fun watching 20 minutes
of us talking.
jackasses talking, but
Negative comments, positive comments, likes, dislikes, send them our way. So next episode is going to be 2018.
New year.
If you have a specific topic you want us to cover, shoot it to us. Email sorrynotssorry1776 @gmail. Comment it. Send us a Facebook message. We love to get your feedback on what you want to hear. So don't hesitate to shoot us some ideas. Outside of that, have everybody have a very safe New Year's. Try not to blow anything off your fingers or anything else. Other than that, thank you very much, and have a very happy Thursday. Stay classy.